All right, so I had recently gotten my driver's license, my N, and it was honestly, I think it was the same week that I got my N. I I went to school as normal, and and it was a normal day, and then at the end of the school day, I drove my car to school because it was like my second time with my N, so I was like really pumped about getting my N, and I was really confident about going out and driving on the roads. So you know, at the end of the school day, I get in my car and, the school parking lot's pretty busy. So I pull out, wait a while, and I pull out to the exit. I put my signal light on to take a left, and it was busy at that time at the end of school. There was cars coming into the turn lane to turn into the school that I had to watch out for, cars that were coming down the closest lane to me, and then cars that were driving on the lane that I wanted to turn into on the far lane. And so and the car beside me who was turning right was also blocking my view a little bit. And so there were cars after cars coming both ways, and there was lines of cars coming in the turn lane as well. So I thought I was clear on my left side. I looked on the turn lane. I had a bit of a gap, and I was sure I was clear on the far lane. So I made the turn, and I almost hit someone on the other side because I missed a small white vehicle that was on the far lane that I was turning into. So they slammed on their brakes, honked at me. No, they didn't hit me, so it was good. So nothing bad happened. It was just like like I cut in front of somebody on accident, and so they honked, and so, but then after that, I was in front of them, and I would try to put my hand up over my mirror and tell them, like, I'm sorry. And, they kind of came up really close to the back of my car. And then I pulled up to the nearby light right outside the school, and it was red. And I sat there, and the person behind me, who I almost hit, honked at me 2 more times, very long honks. So by that point I thought it was over, like, they were mad and they honked, but it's time to move on, right? And so they honked at me 2 more times at that light. So I got a little bit nervous, and then at the end the light turned green. Kept going. It was pretty slow because it was like, that school zone. It was a school zone with another school coming up. So and that person stayed really close to my bumper on the back, and they swerved into the bike lane and almost on the sidewalk, looking like they wanted to pass me, even though, there was lots of cars in front of me. They looked like they were really not happy with me. Eventually, it felt like 10 minutes went by that to get past the kind of the school zone area, and they kept, right on my tail. I started to feel pretty nervous at that point, and we eventually went down to where a broken line was between the 2 lanes, and there were no cars in front of me. And so that person, immediately after they saw the broken line, they passed me on the opposite lane, and they gave me a look that I can remember, like a look like they just were really mad at me. And then they pulled out in front of me. They brake checked me twice. The first time, they just brake checked me until, like, they were almost stopped. And keep in mind, there were no cars in front of them, so there was no reason that she had to come to a complete stop. But she did. For the second one, she came to a complete stop where I had to slam on my brakes, and she rolled down her window and middle fingered me, and then, like, she started yelling slurs at me. So I was, at that point, I just recently got my N, so I was, like, really nervous. I didn't know what to do. My heart was beating, and the whole moment, the whole confidence of me driving changed in that moment. And so after that happened, she continued driving ahead of me, and then she made a right onto the street, and then actually kind of like made like a side turn to where she could see me again, and she gave me that same look that she gave me before. And yeah, so basically that's the story.